I will say, and this is going to be a hard-fought game.
I'm not going to grass you in. I'll leave you on that one.
I think it's going to be a hard-fought game.
A hard-fought game on a map that Fnatic have looked phenomenal on.
Nobody's going to have an easy win.
This stage and the previous stage is what probably makes me nervous. But we all love a bit of spice to end the day out. Thatcher going to be the first ban coming out of DAMWON Kia. We spoke about this earlier on, time and time again, seeing it always be the go-to ban on every single map for at least one of the teams, and then things can get a bit spicy with the second one. This ban here going to be, oh, that's the surprising one, the Lion coming through. So maybe a hint towards the aggressive roam game we want to see coming out of Fnatic.
Okay, so Mirror stays on the table, will be available for use. We've seen her used pretty well here on Chalet. I'm sure that we'll be seeing some of that today. Kaid coming in as our first defensive ban. There will be a second to finish things off that will come in from DAMWON Kia. Sorry, no, Mirror hasn't survived yet. She may well get taken out now. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. We will see now whether DAMWON Kia take that choice or not as the time ticks down. There we go. As expected. Well called by Jess. They want absolutely no part of that Fnatic Mirror play.
The Lion I'm not super surprised by, but a little surprised by. Woogieman has played it in a couple of rounds. It is far from being a staple of their attacking lineups, but for DAMWON Kia, it has been used at points throughout the stage, so maybe it's more just the look. Acknowledge a bit of strength there, the Gone 6, the EE1D scans, just a lot that can give them a headache. And if you recall, the last time we saw Fnatic play on this map, I believe it was against T1, Alfama was off running through the basement seemingly every single round on the defense and giving them an absolute headache to deal with. So I think it's more Fnatic wanting to double down on that strength, play more of that. But to get to that point in the game first, we've got to get through their attacking half, which is where they will start, with DAMWON Kia starting on the defense.
We'll be heading up to Master and Office for site number 1. No surprises there. Top floor generally being the primary choice. And then we will usually see a combination of kitchen and dining and bar and gaming used as second and third, depending on personal preferences of the teams pretty much. Now, Rin straight away over to reinforce that solarium side, but going to leave the half wall open to allow a peek through onto the windows potentially. Coated will likely come over on the smoke and get that line of sight opened up with the shotguns. Similar done on the office wall there. Woogieman just completely reinforcing the side that faces out towards mezzanine, but then the side facing towards the library stairs is left half open so that long angle peaks can be taken down there. And one reinforce on the library box and on library wall, so some potential play in and around mezzanine. They might choose DAMWON Kia to try and hold that a little bit more aggressively. Some teams will sort of actively allow people into library a little bit. They don't hold on to it too hard, but some will try and get right up in their faces. Now then, this is an interesting position. There's a lot of utility there. There's 3 ADSs. Mute Jammer just destroyed because it was in the way of the shield. They don't have time, obviously, to be sorting that out, but a lot of utility on those stairs.
Rin's riveted, absolutely shook by the fact that Jammer got taken out. It does, of course, mean now the Flores Roteros can just come flying in, and Rin won't have enough time to get over there and go for the replacement. Was quite curious to see where the shield was going down, because I thought, seeing those reinforcements coming in around library and mezzanine, that you'd see a shield play there. We've seen so many players do it, especially when you've got a smoke playing with something like the FMG. In this case, it is the shotgun coming in for Coated. Taking out a couple of early engagements, it's Mentalist versus Katsang. Who comes out the better of the two? Opening kill number 1 in this game goes the way of Fnatic.
Good start from them, a nice vertical kill, just using those long angles that we've seen really heavily utilised over the last couple of play days. Get down into garage, big garage, and just open up the floor at the bottom of solarium stairs, open up the ceiling above, and you can get an angle all the way up to the top of the map. So 5 versus 4.
Back.
5 versus 4 with Fnatic on the early kill. A mute jammer has been placed. Rin just managed to nip over there towards the end of the preparation phase, and that's 2 Rotero drones that have been caught in there. Yas going to level things up with a kill onto Tex, and we're going well for a good game so far.
And that's Tex on the Flores taken out, mind you, so getting over rid of those stairs is going to be even harder. You want the Flores for help with things like that. They do have a number of nades to play behind. They've got the 3 flashes they can use to burn through those ADSs to then send a frag singing in, but the problem is that's a lot of people committing themselves towards the top side of the map when you're already over halfway through. And Fnatic, it seems, have acknowledged that themselves and said, forget about going for this north side clear. Our focus now is going to be south up. So abandoning Solar altogether, a loss already throughout the round for the side of Fnatic.
Alpha just looking to challenge onto that office door, but also the office wall as well. In he goes, feeling well established on mezzanine there. Not much of a challenge. Mag just aware that there's a potential for a push coming in from Dining here. So DAMWON Kia needing to be careful. They may try to get aggressive and push forward, but that looks like the silhouette of the Mozzie. If I had to guess, it's going to be Yas. So the Nitro is more what they're looking for. If the plant comes in at the half wall, that is why Yas is located underneath at the minute.
Thank you very much. Highlighted wonderfully by, I believe, it's Medics in this game as well. The moving of the shield from the solar stairs back into Piano, facing down towards the south. So the relocation of utility once the acknowledgement comes through that there is no push coming from the north anymore. Good response by DAMWON Kia so far. Hell, Fnatic at Bay have rotated their defenses over, and this could present a real headache for the first time. Fnatic look a bit rattled on the attack on Cafe. They're going to have to brute force this one through. Smokes are coming out, trying to step in for the plant through the doorway. Alfama's going in, shut down by Woogie straight away. This is a DAMWON Kia round through and through as Fnatic left reeling, have nothing to do, get shut down. A 3 versus 2 as the timer hits 0. A great first round for DAMWON Kia.
Big opener there, coming in and taking a solid defense on the top floor and sending a message to Fnatic that they're maybe not going to have things as much their own way as they have previously on this map in stage 3. So great performance. DAMWON Kia losing the opening kill. Katsang went down to a great vertical pick from Mentalist, but Yas leveled it up and they were just never really able to deal with Yas underneath. I know that he didn't get the kills, Des, but he just held Mag for so long watching that angle, and there was never really any sort of active push to get rid of him or deal with him, and it basically left DAMWON Kia with 4 members on site able to just say, right, play into our lines of sight. That's absolutely fine by us.
Look at what changes come through here as we step into the kitchen and dining site as our next point of defense. The key one that your eyes will fall to will be the Tachanka stepping back in. That smoke subbed away, and I think we're still in a spot where we're really trying to understand where Tachanka fits it. We've seen him used in a couple of sites where you can ping-pong the Shumika launchers around. We saw it coming out on the game earlier on Bank, for example, to deny the default plant spot. It's a lot more useful, I think, when you've got a small area that you want to control, like a default plant spot. But for more larger area denial, that's where it's not as effective. So I'm pretty sure DAMWON Kia have got a plan here on where they want to focus this denial.
The DAMWON Kia Type 89 skin just flashing up there. You better believe that was an Insta purchase for me last night.
Well, we were talking.
Straight onto the DAMWON Kia skin. I'll have a piece of that, thank you.
We were having a good talk about all the skins, weren't we? And saying, right, what you buying? And you were just like, yep, DAMWON Kia.
DAMWON Kia, I've bought it. I've got it. I've already got it. Like I say, I've got to support. If you like the teams, you've got to get in there and back them, and that's absolutely what I will do for DAMWON Kia.
You're buying these boys dinner, basically.
I tell you what I would do, Des. I would treat these boys to dinner any time. Very entertaining side to watch, and I just love the passion that they play with. And so far, this game is dripping with passion from both sides. Both of them knowing how important this result could be come the end of the stage and wanting to get a positive result. For me, this is going to be one of the, not the first big test, but it's a really big test for this Fnatic lineup. We're talking about them being back, Des, on the way to the major. Big things coming from the Fnatic lineup, and whilst I don't completely disagree, this is the sort of question that they now need to be able to answer.
Here's the very emphatic drone game coming out for Fnatic. Most of the members at about that 45 seconds mark finding out what the hell is going on around the map, because this is where they got stalled out before, thinking it would be easy to break their way through the hold coming in on Solar, and we all learned that wasn't so easy for them to achieve. DAMWON Kia got a couple of roamers up on the top floor. Shields are up there. You can see the decoy is being put down by the Alibi. The laser gate's up there. So I think Fnatic have got to acknowledge here, right, top floor control sorely needed. Having to commit drones as well to clearing out those laser gates, not really ideal, especially when you've got the Ana clone following through just about 5 seconds later.
Yeah, the Gemini decoy just into Piano there, but not really going to gain too much information. Woogieman just holding this angle. Doesn't have a peak on it at the minute. He's not going to open that up for the time being, but Alfama is there and does get the wall open with the Ace Selma charges again. But tell you what, Woogieman's not going to be easily moved from here. He's got the Alibi decoy, he's got his ADS in there, he rotates back to Master, but I imagine he's going to keep trying to challenge on the long angle, given that he's got the Jaeger carbine.
Feeling a bit nervy, I think, for the side of Fnatic here. We're 2 minutes in, and they are yet to get control of the top floor. They haven't opened the main wall. That's easily dealt with a nade over the top. But we're in a position where they've, well, here you go, dropped down the Ion. I was going to say they were attacking upstairs into Library. That comes through and will collect the gadget on the wall, so it will be opened up by the Ace. Not opening both sides like we've seen Fnatic do historically, just the one here. So they can play around that a little more clearly. And straight away, here is the Tachanka doing the work of getting those Shumakas straight down onto that hole that's been opened.
Using the angle as well, just bouncing them off the wall and getting them into perfect position to prevent that planter coming in and putting the diffuser down on the ground. Now then, vertical angles could be extremely important here as Katsang starts to open up those late vertical holes with the Aruni punch. Yes, he knows he's got a man underneath him, but he can't lock him in place because of the challenge from the window for the time being. Alpha finds quartered, 20 seconds left to go, and time could be the enemy for Fnatic here again. They need to get moving. That's a freebie for Yas. Can he find himself a second? Surely he sees him. No, he doesn't. Alpha gets Rin with a headshot, but gets shut down by Katsang from above. Des, you kept saying it, and they failed to do anything about it. And there it is. The diffuser's down, but a missed challenge. 2 seconds left to go. It's all up to Mentalist. Surely this is another DAMWON key around as Yas pushes in. He's on the half wall. He sees him. He gets him. He gets the round. DAMWON Kia 2-0.
What's going on, Fnatic? I'm feeling a bit nervous here. We're taking 2 minutes to get control of critical areas of the map and then giving them away. All that drone work invested in the top floor. 3 or 4 members pushing in towards Office and Library Hall. Yet the Aruni walks back in like they were never there in the first place. Like they were figments of their imagination, retaking control and denying the plan. Downing one, killing another. There's got to be questions to be asked. The same as the alibi out towards West Main. Fnatic look like they're doing the right things with the drone work, but then no action is coming off the back of it. A little bit nervy so far today, and I'd be nervous if I was a Fnatic fan, which I guess in this game I am, for DAMWON. Kia, a wonderful start in the first 2
you try
rounds.
and distance yourself now.
Hey, look, I backed it up. I said I'm a Fnatic fan. I stuck behind it and I'll stick through to the end, okay?
DAMWON Kia taking us to DAMWON Gaming in round number 3. This is going to be their tertiary site. And as you say, Des, you know, trying to look at this, we joke about us being Fnatic versus DAMWON, but we always try to see both sides of the coin, of course, when we're casting. And Fnatic, as you say, top floor control going to be very important, as they need to find a way to get in upstairs and to start finding those kills. They can't let DAMWON Kia have that sort of control. We just saw how essential it was. Alphama in there, inside, starts to get the diffuser down. Aruni punch all above, bang, shut down, absolutely no problem. And it should have been dealt with sooner. You can't have Yuzafia going in and trying to challenge that once the diffuser's already down inside a site. It needs taking care of, and Fnatic definitely need to step up on their map control here on Chalet.
They do. It's more the pace and the commitment once information has been collected as well. It's a comment that you had earlier on about Talon, T1 when we were casting them on Bank. You were saying they look like they're just stalling out and don't really have a coherent plan together for what to get done in the round. And I believe that Fnatic do. They know what needs to be done. We've seen them have wonderful games on this map historically, but right now it's looking a little bit dicey and a little bit weak around the edges. The Clash almost getting shut out super early on by Tex, who I don't think would have been too aware he landed those shots, but it does put Woogie down to about half HP.
Need to be careful on the Clash there. You can't be taking that sort of damage for free. Of course, you've got that shield that you position in front of you, and getting hit through a barricade is not going to be ideal for him. Now, Tex sends in the Rotero. He's going to be looking to clear out the top of Library Stairs there. Ooh, some nice movement there. Just ducking and diving to keep that Rotero alive. Gives him the little razzle-dazzle there and manages to get the shield. So Courted playing with a lot less protection at the top of Library Stairs.
Well, he goes here as well. Rotero in towards the Clash on Mezzanine, maybe trying to force him backwards into this line of sight coming in, but they already know and are watching out towards the balcony, so no one being taken down just yet. But it's that kind of slow, nervy piece where Fnatic know where the resistance is being presented. One laser gate back online. I imagine the one on the double doorway or the archway is also back online, which is going to make them have to do everything all over again. Hasn't been shot on yet, but is ready to do so. More utility needing to be committed, and the 2 ADSs are still present. They've been there since Tech started his assault on this window. He's now been there for 60 seconds. The only thing that has changed is that a shield has been removed.
I like the solution here in removing the shield with the Rotero, so let's send that portable shield. We'll send Clash up there to replace it so that we can keep the Tachanka in that location. Now Yas is just ready with an angle onto the office window there. If they try to jump in, they're going to lose their lives very, very quickly. We've got the Iana just inside looking to challenge onto the Clash, but again, not aware, Des. They're coming through the window and Yas has Spraz, the freest kill of his life there to shut the man down, and still Fnatic have not broken this top floor hold from DAMWON Kia. They do not have control, and as time ticks away, they're going to have no choice but to just push for sight.
It's painful to watch as well. Like, you think they'd be a lot more snappier than this, but it felt like for the most part, Tex was a one-man army. The Yana came up and joined him not too long after, and there was zero drone work going on inside of the lobby, and that's just let DAMWON Kia run riot all over them. There's finally a response, but is it too little too late, Tim? They find the 2 kills with 25 seconds still to play with here, the vertical control on their side, but now they've got to start thinking about this plan. How do they make it happen? There's one playing out in split, there's one off to the right, there's one on library stairs as Rin gets full flash. Down comes Goated back for the support, but no one's watching on towards the main corridor. He gets a 2k out with the LMG, and that's what you're looking for. A 3 versus 2, 5 seconds to play. Rin's found another, and Fnatic have been stung 3, if not 4 times in this round by these unwatched angles, and DAMWON Kia rush over them.
And look at where that final kill comes from, Des.
Above, shock horror.
There you go. And that is a big problem for Fnatic right now, just not locking down those angles. But, I mean, let's be honest, a bigger problem in that round was Courted, who is certainly goated after that one. Comes straight into the bar and just decimates 2, including putting the diffuser down, putting that huge Tatanka LMG to great use there to just turn the tide for his team, essentially. Fnatic, you just felt like they were at the crest of a wave, Dev. They were just ready to push forward. They were just there teetering on the edge, but then they crashed and burned. They completely wiped out instead of hitting that wave on its way down and surfing it all the way to a win. So 3-0 we stand at now for DAMWON Kia, and Fnatic really struggling to get themselves into this one.
Dare I say it looks kind of like tunnel vision in a way. They're so focused on one particular point of contestation or one part of the map that they kind of forget about the rest. Here again, you'll see that flank coming in from Coated with the easy spray down onto the ace as he steps forward. One more comes in through the doorway and gets the shut down there as well. I have no idea.
I love the pre-fire.
That was the flash, I think. That's gets a very interesting pitch shift as that flash does wear off. But yeah,
it sounded like there's an instrument that sounds like that. Is it called I think it's called a theremin.
Never heard of it in me life.
I think it's called a themin.
Sounds like the kind of like little devices you mess around with in like science class back at school, just to hear the pitch shift and see the waves, like the oscillations
yeah, basically
going off.
One of them.
You call that an instrument?
It was.
I guess when you said instrument, I thought you meant musical instrument rather than measuring instrument. And it is kind of a measuring instrument.
Like I said, I could be wrong. Could be wrong.
I'm
sure there is one.
I'm sure you're not, mate. You're right about a lot of things. Apparently, so far, DAMWON's prediction.
You know, I didn't want to be the one to point that out. But...
Don't worry, mate. We've got the post after this, and I'm very aware of what's going to happen on that if this carries on this way. Fnatic now get the full recycle of sites as DAMWON Kia have won all 3. Starting with Master Office, likely going Kitchen Dining after, and then Bar Gaming, swerving the downstairs sites. And as mentioned, it's been these big sole focuses from Fnatic. Solar in round 1. The second round was where they basically looked completely lost trying to push their way up Library in towards Office and never really had any control. And the last round, it was all about those Library stairs. The Clash really giving them a headache despite only seeing it in that one round. Maybe catching them off guard, whatever you want to say, it does not look pretty. Let's see how things change in this round because we're already 45, 50 seconds in. And there hasn't been massive progress yet on the south side, but that does appear to be their angle of attack. They have abandoned up towards the north side, and DAMWON Kia are aware of that.
And as much as we do try to stray away from attack and defence-sided maps, Des, you know, we know that they can flip back and forth on given days, and we know that those percentages are generally very tight anyway. It tends to be maybe 55 to 45%, so no major advantage. But we have seen the attackers having a lot of joy on Chalet. You know, we can't ignore that fact. And Fnatic coming in on what should be a strong side on this map and not able to lock anything down yet. Now, quick progress so far. This is better, I think, than we've seen previously. 1 minute 30, and they're starting to get that office wall open.
They're saying that now. I think one's jammed out, so it won't get the right side open entirely. And the second one is jammed, of course, the now spherical style of the new jammer that got changed. However,
there you go.
That one being opened up, I was going to say, does let you get gadgets through. You want to chuck a nade in there and get rid of the jammer, you can do just that. So that now gets to work. So, good focus on the top side. They now have a way into sight. They've got 70 seconds to play with. Everyone's still standing for both teams right now. This is where Fnatic need that pick to really get things in motion. But DAMWON Kia, so defensive. 2 playing up towards the north, 1 up towards bathroom, and not really peeking. But the question is that not enough? Because Alfama was going for the plant, gets smoked out, and is now stepped back outside again. They'll probably play this bait game now for a little while with the smoke, and what you've got to be wary of are these C4s from below. Yas has got himself down here, and normally Fnatic would have someone inside of lobby watching this angle below too. I recall that coming in against Cyclops, I believe it was, but no one's there. That C4 could be deadly, but it's Woogie with with the first fire onto Tex to bring us the opening blood.
Yas is not in a position to stop Alpha from getting that plant down, and that is a bit of a misstep from DAMWON Kia there, allowing Fnatic to get in and get that diffuser activated, and Mag comes to life now on the blue stairs, nearly finding the headshot onto Yas, but taking an awful lot of damage from him. Woogieman manages to get a second on the round, but they are very limited on time here, Des, but the bodies are falling. It's 4 versus 2 in favour of DAMWON Kia, but they have to do something about that diffuser, and they have to do it in the next 15 seconds. Here comes Yas, it's 4v1, they've got to take the chance. There it is, get onto the diffuser, and DAMWON Kia with a fantastic retake there, after it looked like they'd almost let it slip through their fingers without Farmer getting in there and getting the diffuser down. They just could not hold on to it.
Oh dear, and that's the best Fnatic have looked so far. You've now potentially got 2 rounds to bring this up to a 4-2, but with the way things are going, DAMWON Kia are probably taking this half 5-1, 6-0 potentially, Tim. That's not a line I thought I'd be saying today when I got out of bed, but apparently it's now leaving my lips. Round 5 is going to be in kitchen and dining, as we said. That was the same rotation that we saw from them in the first 3 rounds, which means the next one will be the bar and gaming. And this one's harder, I think, for Fnatic because it's much the same as the last round, but once you've got top floor control, you then got to worry about downstairs at the same time. It's almost like attacking into Reading and Fireplace on Cafe rather than Bar and Cocktail. There's a whole nother floor to consider that you then have to execute onto once you've taken control of the top floor.
Kitchen dining, then we saw this back in round 2, and as you've said, the last words there were top floor, Des, and that really is the key for Fnatic here. 2 rounds, both in round 2 and round 3, we saw them fail to take proper top floor control, and they were punished for it. Basically, they try and they try and they try, and then they get to 40 seconds and think we don't have time to do this anymore, we have to go to site, and then ultimately those final kills come in from the top floor. So it's something that Fnatic need to deal with, they need to do differently. They've got to get themselves into the top floor quicker and force DAMWON Kia away. That is the key here. If we see them pushing onto site again with 35 seconds left and still players on the top floor, it's likely to be the same outcome.
See how it shapes up then as the round gets underway. Prep phase is over. Valkyrie camera's on the outside for Katsang. I imagine wants to try and get this reinforced back up, but doesn't bother at least here. Seeing everyone's getting cheeky. Maybe he's fancying a jump out, actually. Oh, no. He's feeling it.
He's got it.
Oh, maybe not. Whiffed his shots a little bit there, and Stiggs almost managed to find one back. Did connect some bullets. But recall last time on this site, there was the alibi holding inside of West Main for the entire round, and Fnatic really struggled to get anything done. Coated here, making sure those ace charges won't go off. So even though we're 30 seconds in, and this is about entry to the building, Ace, DAMWON Kia are right up in the grills of Fnatic and saying, no, you will be held at bay.
Well, the thing is, you know, you've got to look at it both ways, and as much as Fnatic will be adapting and thinking we need to get into top floor quicker, DAMWON Kia will be looking at that and thinking we're winning these rounds because we're keeping hold of top floor. We don't want to let them in there. So, yeah, their response is, right, let's get aggressive. We've guaranteed that we win the half. We're going to be 4-2 at absolute worst. Let's get up in their faces and try and make life difficult for them. But as it is, they can't make it difficult enough for Mentalist as he manages to hit the shots onto Woogieman, and that's another good opener for Fnatic, and it's something they've done very well so far, is to get those entry kills. So they need to double down on it now. They need to use that man advantage and start pushing that top floor. They've got one down, they need to find the others.
Stiggs is not having a good time against this Valkyrie as well, being challenged yet again by Katsang. First on the downstairs, now up on the balcony. Rin being shut down by Mag. Better for Fnatic. They've got 90 seconds to play. They've killed 2. This is the kind of start they've been looking for around for the last 4. And finally, it's starting to settle in. Now the big question for me is, can they hold on to this vertical control? Because that has been the challenge for them so far. They've conceded it away back in round 2, and it ended the round for them. They've got the numbers to hold it whilst also thinking about the execute. So let's see how they do in the final 60, Ace.
Katsang all the way underneath on the Valkyrie at the minute, and this is something else that Fnatic haven't always dealt with so well today, has been the flanks there. We've seen Yas have a little bit of a field day, and we've seen Kota do the same thing, so let's see if they can just manage the map a little bit better here. They've got one underneath, they've got 2 underneath, in fact, as Yas has dipped himself down West Main stairs as well, and we need to see that Fnatic are aware of this. Kota coming under a lot of pressure inside of Dining right now, and he's going to need some support pretty soon, and it looks to me like Fnatic know where those players are and are watching them, but here comes Katsang on that top floor again.
That was the impact as well to get rid of the shield. They're destroying their own utility here to make it easy for them to move their way forwards. However, it's the swing coming out from Office as Mentalist hits the triple in the round. Plant going down from Alpha, stuck at the 20-second mark. That's a great round out of Fnatic, much better. And even though DAMWON Kia was squaring themselves up, jonesing themselves in position to look for a potential retake or an aggressive push forward, Fnatic were having none of it.
Much, much better from Fnatic there, and it came down to that top floor supremacy, Des. They managed to get themselves the couple of kills up there. It didn't matter the aggression that DAMWON Kia were throwing into their faces. They just fronted up to it well, got in there, got it cleared out, and as soon as they did, you could see the Fnatic execute. It's good. They can get into sight. They can get the diffuser down. They can play that objective, that strategical game that they are so good at. They just need to give themselves the opportunity to do it, and they did that in round 5. Round 6, quite a big one for me for Fnatic. They really could do with getting this back. DAMWON Kia, they're going to be looking to lock it down, go 5-1 on the half. They're going to feel pretty confident coming in on the attack, I would expect.
Yeah, and they repeat at the same side as well, so rather than finishing off the full rotation and going bar and gaming, they're a team that more prefers to play the site state knowledge as stronger. In this case, it is this one on the first floor inside the kitchen. Now, what they've got to change in this round. We saw the aggression coming out in the early round, which I thought was a good idea. They almost caught Stigs off guard, not once, but twice, with aggressive window peeks coming through. Just couldn't quite connect those kills. Now, on a different day, you look at those rounds and go, okay, let's assume they do kill Stigs. Then what? They gain more map control, they maybe find a second. Round at that point is basically done, and DAMWON Kia are running away the winners. For Fnatic, with all 5 left alive, though, all points of their plan were in place. They could push forward and take control of ground they needed to, and you saw how well that worked out. So I think for DAMWON Kia, it's worked so well 4 rounds in a row with the early attempts at disruption, and even when they've lost the entry kill, they've still managed to successfully disrupt Fnatic in the mid-round. More of that, please, because that worked so well for them in the first 4.
It is. That's absolutely what they need. You know, I commented on the flanks as well, and just making themselves unpredictable. I understand the reason for clearing that defensive utility, but it really just sent a signal out to say, I'm here on the top floor, I'm Katsang, I'm coming for the kills. And you saw the instant reaction. The Iana just run straight out of office. Yep, there's a lot of noise out in piano, so it's obviously going to be a DAMWON Kia player, and it was easy for them to pick up. So DAMWON Kia just need to be a little bit more subtle, you know, play those situations a little bit cuter. In goes the Retero drone. Is it going to get to its target? It goes an awful long way. It's not going to clear out any utility, so potentially just looking to feed information and push those players around.
I mean, bearing in mind there's still a shield on Yas's side here, so maybe they are trying to bait out these Reteros before they go deploying that down, rather than like staring at drone height the whole time. They'd rather deal with it like this, and I think it's just been trashed, so he did try and go for it. Didn't expect another one to get all the way through, but clearly Tex caught him unprepared.
In comes the third now, trying to clear out some utility in office, but Woogieman more than ready for that one. Going to keep his ADS in place, which is going to allow him to continue playing the half wall here. He's getting droned out, they know exactly where he is. No real vertical threat for him, being as that the site is still under the control of DAMWON Kia, but he does have an angle on either side of him now, so he's going to need some support because he's likely to be challenged from 2 directions.
Just holding so tight here, I found with the entry, but they didn't know about the man behind the half wall. They saw him as well. They knew that he was in this spot, Ace, which is the worrying thing. And yes, diffuser is down inside the breach, but there's still so much time. And sure enough, a push comes in from Stigs. There was no challenge, I imagine, at this point. Rin is going to be reeling that no one was there. Woogieman will be reeling that no one was there to provide support. I think it was Rin originally inside a bathroom, but got challenged from elsewhere to make sure it wasn't a clean bit of support. Nice response coming out of Fnatic to bring us into a point where they're still, you know, even in numbers with 60 seconds to play, it's not a bad setup, and Stigs is the one now pushing in. But as we said to begin with, this is a lot like tacking onto Reading and Fireplace on Cafe. You've got the top floor, now you've got to try and get control of the ground floor.
It's been good play from Fnatic so far. I don't know if 2 men is a slightly high cost for clearing out that top floor, but no, because you can see the value of it there as Stigs answers my question and gets the vertical kill down onto Yas, and that is why it is worth just throwing those bodies at getting this cleared out. Going to use the last Retero drone to get a vertical angle down onto site. As you say, time is ticking by, and Fnatic need to think about getting down there and getting the diffuser down, but it doesn't matter right now because bodies are falling one after another. But Rin comes up with a bit of magic, nearly finishes it off, but it's going to be Tex on the long angle, finds the headshot and brings this back to what looks like a much more competitive score at 2-4 on the half. Still in favour of DAMWON Kia, but Fnatic with a good couple of rounds, and they certainly seem to have woken up.
It was very nervy for a while, wasn't it? That 4-0 mark, you start thinking, man, are we on the way for another 7-0, a 6-0 half coming out here potentially, as we saw in Guts versus Cyclops on Cafe? The answer decisively is no. It did take him a bit of time to wake up, and for Fnatic, winning Kitchen and Dining twice is a good sign. Now we get to see how things fare with the side switched over. DAMWON Kia go onto the attack. Fnatic, as we mentioned, banned away that Lion because we expect they want to play with players like Alfama running their way through the basement as they've done against teams historically. I want to see how DAMWON deal with that. Do they bring along a Jackal? Do they find a way of dealing with it by getting flank drones set up? Whatever it might be, they've got to be wary of that roam game coming out of Fnatic.
Certainly do. We've got the Frost being played by Stigs. We've seen Frost's pick rate drop off quite a bit.
16% this season.
Yeah, it's dropped quite a bit compared to what we saw last time around. And I think in place of Frost, we're often seeing the Alibi brought along. Can do a sort of similar job, not exactly the same. Obviously, Frost is a little bit more lethal with those traps, but the Alibi decoys are often played on windows, the same as a Frost map would be. And it's to prevent entry, essentially, because obviously the attackers can't just jump in through the window because they'll be pinged out. And information, as you've seen, can be so important inside a siege, and especially since that 1.5 times scope has gone on to Alibi, it has really increased the popularity, and we've seen that pick rate pretty much switch from one to the other. But Stig's bringing along the Frost, gonna go for the old double Frost mat on the double window into DAMWON Gaming. It's a pretty consistent way of stopping the attackers just jumping in and looking for a plant, and I love the little Frost mats like that, just out of the way, tucked in a little corner. And
Do you love them though?
I personally love going into them, but it's just because nobody's ever looking for them, and they just snapshot on legs far more often than you'd expect.
I know one man who doesn't look for them. His name begins with A, ends in E, and has 3 letters in it, mate.
I'm a nightmare.
You're a magnet
I'll
to
hold
it.
my hands up. I'm an absolute nightmare for it. I can imagine that the stat gets very angry with me.
We'll find out later on if there are any Frosts in our games. As it stands, they know there's one man inside the library, in fact, potentially a couple. And that's where the focus for DAMWON Kia is going to begin. There was a couple of reinforcements out towards office as well, just to make it a little bit harder to step their way through. And quite a setup coming in here. As you can see, they had the shield, 2 ADSs, the mute jammer is down as well. Quite typical to see this area held, so you have a second zone to fall back to inside a library if you need it, but also a quick retreat path for those in library, back down library stairs if you choose not to play around the hatch.
Texture's holding the bathroom window there, but can't quite react quickly enough to catch the man as he moves across. It is a difficult one to do. A flash of a second is all it takes, but Tex is looking to aggress onto that piano window. He's just going to move past onto library stairs. I tell you what, he's absolutely fractions of millimetres away from catching the man out there, but will be unsuccessful. Going to put down an ADS alongside that mute jammer, and that's Tex now rotated to what will probably be one of his final positions. He'll try to play mezzanine for as long as possible now to keep them out of library, keep them from getting that vertical control, and then late in the round, he may well drop the balcony and back into sight, but for the time being, he'll be staying put.
They got good angles here as well. Stig's holding off on library and Tex on mezzanine with the support of ADSs and jammers when a lot of the utility has already been committed by the side of DAMWON Kia. This could play out really well for them, and it's Stig's to start. Rim was the one who died off on the piano window, I believe, and Yas finds one back, so it is an instant trade. Make it a second as the man stacks in on the south window and punishes those who would upset his teammate, with Rin being taken out, but the 2K trade immediately coming back through.
Great vertical play from Yas, but there's still a lot of work for DAMWON Kia to do here. We said we were critical of Fnatic's top floor clearance, and right now DAMWON Kia have been unsuccessful in moving Tex from mezzanine, so that leaves a man upstairs with 34 seconds left to go and a diffuser yet to be planted. So DAMWON Kia have got a lot of work to do here. Courted gets in and in a position to start planting, which he will do. Out goes the Nitro unsuccessfully. Alphama gets flashed there, comes out to make the challenge and does in the nick of time, but shut down, and 3 versus 1 now as kills keep raining in. It's all up to Mag, 1 versus 3. He's got to go in and stop this diffuser going down. They haven't started the plant yet, but there it is. He hasn't been spotted out, Des. They don't have the cover. There it is. He's up in library. He's on the hatch. Mag tries to make the challenge, but he just buys enough time for the diffuser to go down. Mag can do nothing from the split next to site, and then he's shut down by the pistol of Woogieman on the hatch.
Good resistance from Fnatic upstairs. I thought the library stairs hold and the mezzanine hold looked like it was going to be a hard one for DAMWON Kia to break, but a little bit of over-aggression almost being shown, and Yas suddenly from the library window to the south finds himself 2 kills, and that really breaks open the defense of Fnatic, and you see how it plays out from there. Big round from Yas with a 3K. DAMWON Kia at 5-2, a really commanding position, and on Fnatic's side, it sounds obvious because it is. You don't want to be losing this round, otherwise you've got an uphill battle of 4 rounds to win in a row to guarantee not even a chance at winning, but overtime is what you're then looking for.
It is, it's big. There's no more mistakes left for Fnatic now. They've had the chances. You know, they didn't really fix that top floor roam top floor clear quick enough, and it just allowed DAMWON Kia to really stretch their legs and get a big lead over them, and they've got to start reeling them back in, Des. They can't allow this to continue because, as you say, one more, it's guaranteed overtime for DAMWON Kia, and it just feels like it could break the spirit of Fnatic a little bit at that point. And the way that DAMWON Kia are playing today, it looks like they're back to their Mexico Major best best at the minute, and you look at it and think, are they not going to be able to get one more round if they get onto 6? Right now, I feel like they probably will.
And that's without Rin running around and, fragging anything that walks around the corner with a pulse, as he often would do at Mexico. This one a bit of a different story. Yas and Woogie, the ones that you're looking at as being the big name takers in this game. Not the players on Fnatic aren't doing well. Look towards Mentalist and Stigs, who are having great games so far. Just more about those tighter rounds. It's all going the way of DAMWON Kia. See how this round shapes out, though, now as we step into round number 8. Master and Office is the site that we are playing into, of course. And for Fnatic, we know how they struggled with dealing with Solar when the push came in. The question is for DAMWON Kia, do they want to take the same, or is their focus going to be entirely on the south side from the start and just acknowledge that the hold that can come in sometimes inside of Solar is a little bit too much for them to break?
Yes, immediately sending the drone inside of Office. He's on the door. It will be spotted out by Alphamir, who's going to be playing the smoke in at the half wall there just to prevent any sort of rush in through the door particularly, but later in the round also to try for that plant denial. Now, off.
The
very
blow.
clever. Down beneath, Mag's going to take off those ex-Kairos pellets and just protect the castle that is his own barricade, as that is the operator that he is playing, and that now gives DAMWON Kia the heads up that they're going to have to try and clear Mag from underneath if they want that line of sight open.
It's going to be as you mentioned, a kind of a clear of the whole map in a way, work your way up, clear out Mag, and then worry about the top floor. So sort of a reverse to what you're often used to seeing on this map. It's rare that you'd see a team commit quite heavily to playing on the downstairs, and sure enough, it's not a really heavy committal. There isn't any utility down there with Mag. He's just down there for as long as he can be, and I imagine he's committed to losing his life down here as well. He's there to waste time and force DAMWON Kia to commit resources downstairs, and sure enough, resource number 1 might be Katsang, who's still lurking around inside of the garage. West Main surely going to be a point of push, and the same for Rin. Hanging out towards West Main, needs to unseat Mag.
This is it. There is now no attention on the south side of the map. It's all going to come through Solarium for DAMWON Kia. Very unlikely that they have the opportunity to rotate after this point. So that initial presence on Office balcony has been pushed away, and the rotation made the decision that they're going to head in elsewhere. But still not very confident in getting it inside of the map yet, Des.
This reminds me a lot of Fnatic on their attacks, right? When they stalled out and were like, well, where do we push? What do we do? They know there's someone in here. You've got drones coming in. But all this is being done at this sort of, 50-second mark, not at the 60-second one. And sure enough, while they're hunting down Mag, Stigs elsewhere brings down Woogie. Mag should die here. They're in his feet as well. Can't flick fast enough, and Rin does find the kill, but traded by Stigs. Great team play, but equally from DAMWON Kia, it's there as well. It's like a leapfrog, with Yas being the one who ends the chain. Bringing down one more man on the other side. 3 versus 3 ace, and only 30 seconds still to play, though. I'm a bit nervous for DAMWON Kia.
Trading out in that manner is something that DAMWON Kia have done very well. We saw it in the last round as well, able to just keep themselves in a fighting position. But like you said, there's a lot of work to do. Great shot from Yas. He's having a fantastic day. Gets a second. 3 versus 1, and it's starting to fall apart. It's coming down like a house of cards around Fnatic here, Des, as DAMWON Kia have got the control that they need. 10 seconds left to go. They need to think about getting the diffuser in sight. Tex could play spoiler here. Manages to make the peak just a little bit too late. And Katsang, he finds the angle that DAMWON Kia need, shuts down Tech, shuts down Fnatic, and puts them onto match point.
Oh dear, it's the day of the underdogs, Ace. Fresh with guts, you with DAMWON Kia. It's all coming up for the UK boys, except for me, apparently. Sad times.
You sound sad about it, Des.
I am slightly. That 80% on day 1 in EU is a long forgotten memory at this point.
See, this is why I don't get too loud too soon. 75%.
Too soon? It's only the 3rd play day. You'll be loud as all hell in the post show.
I could be on a 75% today. 3 out of 4 won't be bad. It'll start to rescue some of those poor early weeks I've had. That's all.
We'll give it to that.
Very gracious winner, Des. Very gracious winner.
You say this all the time, and I know it's a lie. But you speak about rescuing those early days. It's about rescuing the early rounds of Fnatic. 4 in a row they lost, and that has really come back to bite them. They've looked a bit more competitive in round 5 and 6, and then 7 and 8, we've seen Yas go absolutely nuclear with a 3K in both rounds, and even when the cards were down in that round, a 3 versus 3, 30 seconds to play, not really full control of sites. They were just confident in going in for the pushes, and Yas gets over the line for his team. Fnatic, understandably, needing this tactical timeout now to address what the hell is going wrong and what they need to be fixing. You can see a couple of exasperated faces, almost like they don't really know the full solution on what to do here, Ace, because it's been rough.
As I say, DAMWON Kia, for me, just keeping Fnatic on a very tight leash today. They'll get in there and Stig's got a nice opener, but there's always a trade there. They never let them get too far ahead. Exactly that. It's, yes, you've got that kill, but we've always got the cross. We've always got the trade. We've always brought it back. Yeah, 5v4. Oh, it's 4v4. You're never really getting any time to breathe with an advantage for Fnatic, and it's certainly taking its toll, and it can be exhausting to play like that because no matter what you do, no matter how well you open things up, you know that they just keep fighting back at you. You know that even, 5 versus 4, 5 versus 3, there's going to be those kills that come back, and DAMWON Kia have done that extremely well so far. So we're going to be heading into round number 9, 6-2. It stands match point, and Fnatic, they're going to try to defend kitchen and dining this time.
Bearing in mind as well, by the way, in a 3 versus 3, Yas has got a bullet worth of HP, if even that. He's got about 5. Finds these 2 kills here, this one on a good swing. The one in bathroom, sure, wasn't aware of it, or the defender wasn't aware that he was coming in that instance. But like that, because of one man, it's a 3 versus 1.
And that is one of the big strengths of DAMWON Kia. They've got a number of players like that. We see it out of Yas, we see it out of Rin repeatedly. They will come in and just have that big 2K, 3K explosive moment that really can turn the momentum of a round on its head. But
there's a big conversation thinking about it, because we always used to say, oh, Yas is, second to 11 here in APAC North. He's still a phenomenal player, but 11 has been really dragging T1 on his back. 11 hasn't been super noisy this year. So far, with the revised team that he's got around him. Is Yas now stepping up as a potential contender for one of those best players, if not the best player that we have in the region?
I think it's easy to argue on the back of a 13-3 game. No, seriously though, it's easy to argue it now. We've seen his ability, we've seen his talent. Look at this rush, Des. Caught Katsang just absolutely steamroller into sight and take 2 kills, and that's going to leave us now 5 versus 2 as Yas on the upside down rappel. Quartered, he gets the diffuser down, and DAMWON Kia have caught Fnatic napping in a major way here. It is almost certainly going to finish 7-2 as the clock ticks away. Tex, Stigs, they are the last hopes of the Australian outfit here. They need to get in there and try to do something, try to find some kills. They can't find one as Ring gets Tex. It's all up to Stigs. It's surely going to be impactless kills at this point in time. 12 seconds and 4 to find. Shut down by Yas, and DAMWON Kia looking dominant.
We spoke about these tactical timeouts earlier on, Tim. You said it's like a penalty shootout. You're going left, you're going right, you're going straight. Well, DAMWON Kia go for the rush and completely blow Fnatic's minds. That timeout worth zilch. A really dominant performance, and this just blows the competition even further wide open. Where DAMWON Kia looked a bit shaky at points in the last couple